opportunity for everybody to give a brief update, put a shout out for anything that they want help with. So we will start as always, if it's okay, by giving you our own VCS update. It's been a very busy few weeks since we last spoke. Heather, are you okay to give the initial update, and then I'll just add any bits that I've got if you haven't covered them?
Absolutely, yeah, no problem. Do you want me to go now?
Perfect, thank you.
Sure. Okay, so a quick rundown of services that we offer. There are a few faces in the room that I don't recognise. Obviously, apologies if you have been coming all year. I've just returned from maternity leave, so this is only my second forum, and I don't necessarily recognise every single name. So I'm Heather. I'm the area coordinator for the West Lindsey team based in our Gainsborough office, although, as you can tell, currently in my spare bedroom following the work from home guidance. As an organisation, we have a number of services that we offer from our West Lindsey office, all of which are currently operational. So we have our volunteer centre team, who are supporting and involving individual volunteers, both people who are wanting to get into volunteering and organisations that are seeking volunteers. We have our community support, so Vanessa available to support people with funding and developing organisations, policies, procedures, advice about how to operate in the best possible way as a third sector. We have our social prescribing team, who are out and about mostly today, supporting individuals in that final approach to Christmas. We have the Safer Streets programme, and I can see Barry's in the room as well, looking at some real on-the-ground community development work in the Gainsborough area. And then we've got the local access programme. Helen will probably talk about that as well later on, about some funding that may be available for the area to do some growing and developing. So those are our core functions as a team. And the YES project, of course, which is our support for young people aged 16 to 30 who don't have to be neat, they don't have to be any kind of tick box exercise, they just have to be 16 to 30. If they're looking for support, then they're available. Lorraine is available to have conversations with them about what they might want. We have our free online training programme, which we deliver in partnership with Lincolnshire CVS, and that is a programme of 72 free online courses that are available to anyone who is working or volunteering in the sector in Lincolnshire. You can access those via our website. They're really, really excellent programmes, some of them just 15 minutes, some of them 2 or 3 hours, covering some of the key topics like first aid and safeguarding, as well as some really nice light touch courses like workplace wellbeing and things that you think, well, actually, those are the stuff that we really love to do but never get the time to. So please do access that if you would like to. As things stand, that runs to the end of March, so please make the most of it. We do have licenses available. We have obviously heard on the news this week that there's an increase in the booster programme, and as a result that has seen an increase in the requirement of volunteers. Sorry, I'm probably stealing your thunder, Jane, because you're probably going to say this too. But we are, as ever, receiving inquiries right up to Christmas for people who've suddenly decided that they would like to do some volunteering, which is excellent. We will be directing them towards that booster programme in terms of spending their time Christmas volunteering. If anybody has got Christmas volunteering roles around those kind of 3 festive days, please do let us know, because we always get inquiries up to the very last minute of people who have had changes of plans and now want to do something meaningful. Vanessa will probably give an update on the Green Spaces funding programme as well. So I think that's probably where we're at. Really, really busy. We continue to be a really small team. Kate, you have a question?
I do, darling. Could you say again where we could access first aid online?
Yes, so if you go to the Voluntary Centre Services website and go to the training section, there is a web link, and you can sign up there, and it just takes a few days for one of our admin people to process you through, and you'll get a link to do it online. They're really nice little courses, really straightforward.
Thank you.
So I think that's probably everything from me. In case anyone's got any questions about the services that we offer, you can catch me in the chat, or you can catch me at the end. I'll be here the whole time, but busy times for us. Thank you.
Thanks, Heather. And yes, just to add to that as well, feel free to drop anything in the chat if you want to put contact details, links to anything, requests. Just use that, please, throughout this morning's meeting. So yeah, thanks for that, Heather. I was also going to mention the vaccine programme. Yesterday was quite a busy day. We had just one official request for one particular PCN over in Lincoln, actually, that needed some assistance with recruiting some volunteers. We have an existing list of people who have been supporting the vaccine programme at a particular PCN over in Lincoln for nearly a year now. So we were able to go to them yesterday to put that shout out. I suspect we might get more requests over the coming days, because as we're probably all aware, there is a huge push to get as many people boosted before the end of December. And I think there are there's activities going on both locally at GP surgeries and across bigger sites as well. So watch this space. Just in terms of volunteering at the West Lindsey office, we are now still doing phone appointments only. We have had our volunteers in the office over recent weeks. We've decided, in the light of the current government guidance, that they won't be in next week. So I will be completing any volunteer appointments this side of Christmas myself. I finish, fingers crossed, on Wednesday next week. So up until Wednesday, still around to deal with any enquiries or requests from you. And then we are back in work, I was going to say in the office, but in work on the 4th of January, and we'll pick things up again then. So yes, as Heather said, a very busy time for volunteering. We are booking appointments for potential volunteers right into to January now, which is great. We've seen an ongoing steady flow of new inquiries, new organisations and opportunities coming through. I was looking at some stats the other day. We've got over about 54, 55 opportunities in the West Lindsey area alone, and we have others that are more county-wide opportunities that we're helping to recruit for. So it's just really good to see that the momentum for volunteering, both from organisations and from volunteers themselves, is still going. So fingers crossed we don't lose that over the Christmas break, but I'm sure we won't. Everybody will be motivated and have made all their New Year's resolutions that they're going to do lots more things in the community, and we'll be snowed under, I'm sure, come January. So yes, that's us. So I think we'll go to our guest presenters this morning now. Now, I'm going to go to Sonia first. Sonia, we've been trying to get you for a little while, haven't we? But we just haven't aligned with diaries. So it's lovely that you're able to present this morning. I know you've been to the forums before, but thank you for your time this morning. So floor's yours. If you want to share anything or just talk, feel free. But over to you, Sonia. Thank you.
Thanks, Jane. Good morning, everybody. It's so lovely to see so many faces that I recognise in this meeting, and being able to, hi there, Kate, being able to recognise you guys. So I did want to share with you a short presentation. I will keep it brief. I know the agenda's busy. For those of you who've not met me before, I'm a referral generation officer from You Lincolnshire, who have been commissioned by LCC and the clinical commissioning groups to provide healthy lifestyle options for our residents of Lincolnshire. It's important to note our service isn't just for the clients that we work with, it's for you and I as well. So if you identify with anything that I'm talking about today, please don't hesitate to reach out. We were first commissioned in 2019, and I'm delighted to say that commission has now been extended formally until 2024. So we are a sustainable service within the county. We offer 4 main pathways. A lot of them will be really familiar to you. So smoking cessation, to be smoke free, to drink less, to move more, and to eat well and lose weight. And all those things don't just encompass our physical health, they do encompass our mental health as well. Within each pathway, we've got a multitude of different programs, whether they're digital, face-to-face, over the telephone, group support, one-to-one. We try and offer something for everybody. And all our pathways are fully funded. And they work over a 12 to 14 week period, purely because that's evidence-based. That's how long it takes to make a change. Now, you may say, I've been smoking for 25 years, I'm never going to give up in 12 weeks. We completely understand that. So our smoke-free pathway is the only one where if somebody has a lapse, we are able to invite them back into service. So if they've had a particularly stressful week, been to a party and picked up a cigarette after their quit date, we are able to continue supporting them. The eligibility criteria here is age 12 and over, smoking tobacco only. 12 probably seems quite shocking to a lot of people. We are GILIT compliant, which means that it's completely confidential service. However, we would encourage those young people to speak with a parent, carer or guardian if they were accessing our service. There's a specialist smoking in pregnancy programme within there. It's really important to us to make sure that pregnant ladies are living within a smoke-free household. So it's not just if they're smoking, partners, whoever they may be living with, for those to be smoke-free as well. And we offer all your nicotine replacement therapy. And with a smoking service like One You Lincolnshire, you are 4 times more likely to set that quit date and to stay quit. A lot of people have really good intentions. They go in the supermarket, they buy the nicotine replacement therapy. It's either 2 for 1, brilliant, I'll slap on a patch. But actually, it's not the right prescription for them. So our specialists are able to make sure you're getting the right combination therapy at the right prescription level for you, and it's all individual, and that's posted out to people. I think last week our order was over £23,000 worth of nicotine replacement therapy in the county, so we're supporting a lot of individuals with that. Our Move More pathway, this is for individuals aged over 18. Doing less than 150 minutes of moderate exercise a week. It's about 2.5 hours of exercise. It's getting you a little bit hot and sweaty, but not unable to hold a conversation. That applies to a lot of people, including me. So, you know, there's a lot of options here for people. Again, individual or group activity, dependent on current guidelines. We are delivering in a variety of formats at the moment. We're able to offer a 12-week gym membership, for example, at our local partners, where you get access to the gym, the classes, you name it. And we've also got a digital offering as well. So if you aren't able to get to your local gym, there's an online resource called The Other Room. That's got live sessions in it. There's a moderation room, progress room, sweat room, sounds awful. And there's also a vault. They're all recorded. So if you can't make that live session because of your own personal commitments, if you choose to do your exercise at 10 o'clock at night, it's all there waiting for you. And within there, we've also got a healthy ageing programme as well in this pathway. So that's working with individuals over the age of 55. So we're always trying to be as inclusive and diverse as we possibly can. On a note of inclusivity and diversity, we have got all resources translated. We also have a translation service available to us when we're speaking with clients as well. Eat well and lose weight. This is probably really familiar to a lot of you. So in here we've got Slimming World and Weight Watchers, or WW as it's now called, where again you can access a 12-week worth of vouchers for those weight loss groups. We've got Lose Weight with One You Lincolnshire, which is where you work with one of our practitioners for an hour and a half a week, and you'll discuss food, portion sizes, nutrition, healthy fats, all surrounded education around food. And then you'll also do a 30-minute moderate exercise session within there as well. This is set up group-wise, so it's a really nice collaboration of ideas. It's a really nice interactive group. We work with postnatal weight management here for ladies who've had a baby in the last 12 months, who are now feeling ready to address any weight issues they may have. And we also offer Man v Fat Challenge and football. This is really, obviously, it's aimed at guys because they're not generally identifying with a Weight Watchers group or a Slimming World group. So it's a 14-week football league based in Lincoln, Grantham and Boston. And it's where guys can score goals on and off the pitch. So if they've put on weight that week, they start a goal down. If they've lost, they start a goal up. So it's really competitive. There's a lot of banter going on. And they also talk around food, nutrition, and that education of healthy diet and lifestyle. If you're not able to get there, we've got Man v Fat Challenge, digital platform where they have access to an app and they can diarise their weight loss journey and lose it that way. You know, no food's demonised at the end of the day. It's all about healthy balance. And to qualify for Eat Well, Lose Weight, aged 18 plus, with a BMI of 30 or more, or 27.5 for Black and ethnic minority groups. Drink less pathway, difficult one, especially this time of year. This is for individuals drinking more than 14 units of alcohol per week. Our pathways often work in partnership with each other. So if you are on an eat well, lose weight pathway, a drink less pathway can go really well and hold hands, because, you know, I think there's something like 800 calories in a bottle of wine. So you can imagine reducing your alcohol intake can make a massive impact on that. Unfortunately, we're not able to support people who are alcohol dependent. That will go to our friends at Add Action. Sorry, We Are With You, formerly Add Action. But here we're able to offer individual and group workshop sessions, also a Drink Less app that, for those who are digital savvy, it enables you to track the progress of your drinking, your behaviours around drinking. You know, are you opening a bottle just because, I don't know, you've had a tough day at work, or you're unscrewing that cap because the kids are in bed and you know what, it's my time now and I'm taking a breath and this is the way it is. And this, you know, it looks at behaviours, it looks at motivations around drinking. They'll look at hacks. How can you reduce your drinking? You know, swapping a wine for a spritzer, choosing a low level alcohol drink, for example, having one alcoholic drink and then one soft drink, or limiting the time that you drink. You know, works for some, not for others. So if you're drinking between 7 and 9 rather than 7 till when you go to bed, it can reduce that level of alcohol consumption. So they'll look at lots of different ways. And to knit all this together, we have health coaches on board, because some people aren't quite ready for that change. Even though they may have self-referred, you may have encouraged them to refer, or their GP has encouraged them to refer, or refer them themselves. You know, sometimes people are still pre-contemplative to change and not quite ready. So health coaches will work with them on one-to-one support in their clinics, addressing that behaviour change, their self-belief, their motivation and their confidence to change. And sometimes knowing that somebody else believes that they can make that small change to their lifestyle really does help them to jump on board with that pathway. Because there's no point starting Slimming World or, you know, setting a quick date for smoking if you really aren't ready. So these guys are really imperative to our cause. How do you get access? Easy peasy. Like I say, all you have to be is a Lincolnshire resident or registered with a Lincolnshire GP. You can be referred by a GP by all means. You can self-refer in using our website there as well. And I will share this presentation today, so it can be circulated with you all, so you've got all those details. Or you can just simply pick up the phone and ring through, at which point you'll meet our triage department. Those guys will go through a 15-20 minute conversation with you, getting all your contact details, all your medical history, making sure you're fit, well and healthy to make whichever lifestyle change it is you choose or you are eligible for. Any queries, we go back to your GP. And they will address which pathway you would like to embark upon. Some people will say, I really want Slimming World, worked for me before, lost 3 stone, I would like to do that. And again, and other people need a chat through of our various programmes. I've given you a really whistle-stop tour of some of the things we offer there. There are lots and lots more, including Get Healthy, Get Active, which is helping people connect with community groups. So to move, it's on the Move More pathway, and this can introduce people to walking groups or wild swimming or dancing in the rain on the beach, whatever it may be, to encourage you to be more active. So sometimes people just need that signposting really to be able to join in with those groups and help them enjoy a more active lifestyle. So I hope that gives you a really whistle-stop tour. I know a lot of you have joined my presentations previously, so understand what we do. But if there are any questions or queries, do ask. But I will share that presentation so that it can be circulated at the end for anybody who hasn't got that.
Thank you so much, Sonia. That's a lot of really great stuff that you're doing there, and I imagine that you get pretty busy in the new year, I'm guessing, again, as people sort of decide to make those healthier choices post-Christmas.
We do indeed. We are geared up for that staff-wise and capacity-wise. If ever we get to a point, and it's a question I had in my last meeting with social prescribers link workers this morning, we will kind of let you know. We'll pop something on our social media to say, because if we can't contact someone within 48 hours of them coming through, we aren't striking when the iron's hot, and that's really imperative. If someone's made that massive decision to quit smoking, or to change their diet, we need to get hold of them and get them active on that pathway or joined up with their health coach as quickly as possible. So if we are struggling, I know we were in the summer when we had that whole ping issue, a lot of our staff were unable to be in work, so we do try and let you know if we are running behind. December's quite quiet, funnily enough. I think people have made a decision to enjoy themselves and make that change in January. But if you were speaking with a client today that said, you know what, yeah, I'd really like to refer onto a Slimming World, they can, and they can set their start date for the new year. So that's absolutely fine. If you were with a client this week and you felt that they were eligible for that criteria, they can jump on board with us and we can set that start date in January. That's no problem at all.
Brilliant, thank you. I can't see any questions in the chat, and I don't think anyone's got their hands up, so I'm taking it no questions for Sonia.
Oh, 10 marks for me, thank you very much.
Obviously you just covered everything brilliantly, so that's great. So yeah, if you could pop any details in the chat, Sonia, that would be great. Thank you very much for that, really interesting to hear. Our next presenter is Sally, who's from the Lincolnshire Community Health Services NHS Trust. I hope I've got that right, because that's a huge long organisation, isn't it? The word is in the right order, hopefully. Yeah. Sally, welcome. Over to you, please.
Hello, everybody. Okay. All right, can you see my presentation okay there? Yep.
Yep.
Oh, brilliant.
I think it's coming. Yes.
Great. Thanks very much. Thanks for having me, everybody. Yeah, it's really nice to see everybody. I'm here today, but I have joined the forums a couple of times before. But I'm here just to tell you about our volunteering services, mainly because they're really new. And I just really wanted everyone to be aware of us and what we're doing, and getting a bit of an idea about where we are, a bit of an update, and how we can work together. So yeah, I'll whiz through, update you, and then please do ask me any questions. So this is us. When you think about volunteers in the NHS, you might think about national volunteering, or you might think about our friends and colleagues in the Lincoln or Pilgrim Hospital. But actually, we're setting up a volunteering service with the Community Health Trust too. We've never had a centralised service. There has been volunteers who mainly worked with the cardiac rehab team, but we've never had a service to coordinate that and to grow our volunteering across our trust. Now we have. So I've been here for about 6 months now, in fact, nearly exactly 6 months. And my colleague Dawn has joined us in September. So we're a 2-woman show at the moment, and what we've been doing is trying to establish a service, to grow it. So we've been spending quite a lot of time building things behind the scenes, putting in procedures and policies. But now the really exciting thing is that we're ready to develop roles and we're ready to recruit. So we're really looking forward to going into 2022 to be able to offer lots of great volunteering roles with LCHS. So just a little bit about LCHS, or Lincolnshire Community Health Services, but everybody abbreviates it to LCHS. Our main aims are about managing health at home. So encouraging people to manage their maybe long-term health conditions at home, because we know that's where people thrive, and reducing the need to have to go into hospital. So those are really what we're all about. I was wondering if anybody knew, had any knowledge about our services. Maybe you've come into contact with them. Maybe you're not quite sure who does what in terms of the NHS. Would anyone be willing to just pop in the chat or shout out maybe the kinds of services that you think that we deliver? Come on, I've got you working on your toes now.
I think you do the community hospitals like John Coupland and the one in Spalding.
Yep, that's right. Anyone else gone quiet? Community nursing, yeah.
To do falls prevention team. Is that
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. Oh, well, a few good starters, but maybe we do a little bit more than you first realise.
That's what I'm just going to ask. When Heather says you do the 2 little hospitals she's cited, what is it that you do? And I can see that now.
Yeah, here we are. Okay. So yeah, this is just a really an overview, and to be honest, I'm still getting to grips with all of the detail of everything that we do. So our adult services include other therapy services that people might get at home, whether it's speech and language therapy, OT, physio, stroke. We've got community hospitals in Louth, Gainsborough, Spalding, and we also service the hospice in Boston as well. So those are just 1 or 2 wards, mostly focusing on rehabilitation and palliative care. Some of our specialist services include cardiac rehab, the diabetes, continence, respite, palliative care. We've also got our new post-COVID service, which is, I think, around a year old now. Did you know that LCHS also service the urgent treatment centres as well in Boston, Gainsborough, Skegness and Spalding? So those urgent treatment centres are run by our staff. They're often kind of co-located. So the one in Lincoln, for example, is located right next to the ED in the main hospital, but it's LCHS staff that run it. We've got a couple of primary care GP surgeries that we look after as well in Spalding and Boston. And of course, our integrated care team is all about the community nursing that you mentioned, and working with teams together around that one person to really support them at home. So that's just a flavour. So you can see how really kind of diverse it is, which is great for us because it means that there's plenty of opportunities or potential opportunities for volunteers to get involved. So what we've been doing is working with our service teams to discuss what volunteers can do in their services and with their teams, finding out what the patients need, but also really what the staff need. So in terms of volunteers having the biggest impact in certain teams, and very often it's around releasing clinical staff to do clinical roles, and volunteers supporting in other ways, spending time with patients, keeping contact with patients, things like that. And we've been developing some role descriptions then to fit this. So we're starting with baby steps, and our current opportunity. We've got these current opportunities out just now. Of course, hospital ward volunteers, a virtual group supporter with a post-COVID service, a role with the children's therapy team, and kind of hot off the press, our pulmonary rehab groups are needing volunteers to help them to run their exercise classes around the county, and these are all kind of community based. So it would be great if anybody spots our adverts. Please do share it with people you know might be interested in volunteering, or share with anybody who's supporting. And you can follow us on the usual kind of social media. We put our adverts out on our general links ComHealth social media things. So yeah, please do comment and share. That'd be great. So we've been up and running 6 months, and our development for the next year is around really improving our profile quality and improving the range of volunteering opportunities that we've got. We're really committed to, rather than getting lots of numbers in, to offering good quality volunteering opportunities that people might be interested in, and then lots of different kinds of people across our county might be interested in. We're wanting to build our reputation, of course, within our trust because we're brand new, but beyond as well. So that's why I'm here. We recognise the importance of working with our with colleagues such as yourselves. And something that everybody here, I'm sure, is interested in is around the impact. So we'll have a real focus on trying to evidence the impact that volunteering has on the individual, but also on our trusts and our services. So I suppose in working with you, the opportunity is we're developing new roles all the time, but we really don't want to duplicate anything that might be already being provided by other organisations. We want to work together, and so open to feedback about how you think that we can make the most impact within the remit of our services. Yep. So I've got, so I've mentioned about impact. I can see a real opportunity in LCHS volunteers, because maybe patients have maybe gone from acute to community care, and many of those people will need long-term support that we can't offer. But I can see a real good role there for volunteers, our volunteers, to be able to support that transition to long-term support, which many of your organisations will be providing. Lots of our existing volunteers, well, we only have a small bunch, but our existing volunteers are already involved in kind of community groups and other kinds of volunteering, and that's a real bonus because it's a really great link. And of course, in promoting each other's services, so we'd love to promote your services in that way. It's really great for our patients. Yeah, and if you could promote our volunteering roles and knows that they exist, then that would be great too. Okay, so that's me. Oh, I put the contact details on there. Did I? The contact details are on there, so you can send them out, Jane, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely, we can. And I know we've been talking recently, we have the opportunity at John Copeland already on our database, and we've talked about getting some other roles on there in due course as well, which is great. Does anybody have any questions for Sally at all? Doesn't look as I'm just checking the chat, but again, everything's running on slow speed on here. No, I don't think so. So again, Sally, I think cracking job of explaining everything, obviously crystal clear to everybody. So thank you ever so much. And yeah, if you want to put anything in the chat yourself, Sally, for people, that would also be really helpful. Thank you very much. Okay, so what we're going to do now is do our usual sort of round the virtual room update. We've got just shy of an hour, so want to give people long enough to obviously just give a bit of an update. But if we can all keep it fairly succinct, that would be helpful to make sure that everybody gets a fair turn. Sarah, I know you need to nip off a bit early, so would it be all right if I come to you first?
Yes, no problem. So yes, hello. I think I've seen a lot of you before, but for those of you that don't know me, I am from GamCare's women's programme, the gambling support charity, and my role is to offer lots of free training to any volunteers or professionals working with the general public. It's just really to raise awareness around gambling related harms and how those affect not only the gambler, but also their friends and family. It's really important to acknowledge that those people around the gambler suffer severe gambling related harms. It is quite intense. So it's about raising that awareness that there is support available out there. We also at GamCare have a youth programme which offers training in schools, and also for those professionals and volunteers working with young people. So people can get in touch with me and I can organise that for them. And then finally, I can also attend any community or professional events that people are organising. So to hold a stall or to be a guest speaker. You know, even if it's a coffee morning with somebody, I can come and talk to people around gambling related harms on a one-to-one basis or as a small group. So I'm available really, as those that know me, they know that I will talk to anybody around gambling related harms. I am so passionate about the topic, and it's affecting more and more people as we move through this pandemic. Official statistics, interestingly, that are just on the verge of being released, are actually implying that gambling has come down. Interesting. I believe that maybe statistics can be interpreted in whatever way people want them to be interpreted. At GamCare, our statistics around the helpline and those seeking treatment have actually gone up quite considerably. But the official statistics from the Gambling Commission say that problematic gambling has decreased in the last little while. So we'll see when those statistics come out. And unfortunately, the white paper for the new Gambling Act has been postponed again because of COVID. So that's not going to be released now until the spring. So we'll look forward to seeing what changes are implemented as a result of that. But basically, I'm always here. Anybody can contact me, and we can have chats about, you know, how I can support you in your organisation, to talk to people about their gambling related harms and things. So just please do get in touch, and I wish everybody a very happy festive season. I see Gerald has got his hand up.
I have. If I don't get my turn before you have to leave, I just wanted to say that we're running a Wellbeing Wednesday show on the radio station every Wednesday, and it'd be great to have you on in an interview situation as part of that. So something to bear in mind over the Christmas period, and we'll get back in touch in the new year.
Excellent. I've written a little bit to go in the chat, so that's got my contact details on and what I have available. So I'll post that. I was going to sort of press go as I had to leave, or when I had the chance to speak. So yeah, that's great. I'll post that now, and then anybody can get in touch with me if they want to. Thank you.
Brilliant, Sarah. Thank you as always for that. And I don't think there's any other questions for you. So, Gerald, you've done a really nice segue into yourself, I think, here, and we'll go to you next, if that's okay.
Okay. So I'm on mute again. How do I get rid of this hand? I'll just click on that.
I think you just click on it again, and it should go.
It's there we go.
That's
right,
it, it's gone.
Just a couple of things from me. I think firstly that we're running a promotion or advert for all of the voluntary centre services volunteering jobs every day on the radio station from about 1:30, I think it is. So everything that's advertised in the Gainsborough area, all the roles are being promoted on the station every day. I just mentioned this Wellbeing Wednesday show that we are going to introduce sometime in January. I've spoken to a bunch of you earlier, and we've got some great support, some great content lined up for that. What we're looking for in the longer term is more information on some of the great courses and classes and support that each of you play in the local community, because our role, I think, is to inform the residents of Gainsborough and the surrounding area exactly what's going on and what they can access in terms of support, classes, courses and whatnot that support their health and well-being. I've mentioned podcasts. We're actually going out in January to do some face-to-face, hopefully, if we're allowed, given the current circumstances, but some face-to-face with some of you to set up some little interviews or content that we can play out on the radio station in future episodes of the Health and Wellbeing Show. One question I had, I don't know if anybody knows anything about the Mental Health Support Team podcast, which is run by Lincolnshire Partnership NHS Foundation Trust. Anybody got any contact details for those people I could get hold of? That would be great, because they've got some fantastic content on their website, but no way of getting in touch with the people that actually supply it.
I can try and find out for you, Gerald.
Okay, that would be great.
Do you know what it's called?
I'll email you the detail.
I wonder if it's for staff. I'll have a look. Yeah, tell me, and I'll investigate, because I think we're often involved in wellbeing stuff together with LPFT.
Fantastic. And just as an update as to how we're going with the station, it's going phenomenally well. We've doubled our audience figures over the past 6 weeks, and which is a shock to me, really, because Christmas is usually a tricky period for getting your voice heard in the local community, because there's so much going on. So we're really happy with the progress we're making, and we're getting a new look and feel to the radio station in the new year, with a lot more new voices, so you won't be having to listen to me the whole time, and a whole load of new shows. So thanks for all the support. Have a great Christmas and New Year.
Thank you, Gerald. And I think, John, it's been really interesting to see what's happening, because you came to the forum last time, and I think you were able to hook up with a couple of people as a result of that. So it kind of shows the benefit of this forum, doesn't it, for networking and making those connections, which is so very important.
Absolutely. I think that we'd love to meet up with a bunch more of you. I think that obviously time pressures and this, that and the other have created some difficulties in meeting with some of the group, but I think that everybody's got a part to play, and we'll happily support through the radio station anybody that's got something to say to the local community.
Absolutely. There's a couple of comments and questions for you, Gerald, in the chat. One is, where are you getting your volunteering opportunities from? That's from Sally. Do you need people to send them through to you? So you've mentioned, obviously, that you're highlighting and focusing on some. So what's the mechanism for you doing that at the moment?
Yep. I'll crack on and answer those, and you can move on to.
Okay, lovely. Thank you. There's a couple of questions about the frequency. I think, Kate, thank you. You're there in the background and popping some details in. So there's the website that's been dropped in there as well, because it's obviously an internet radio station, isn't it? So yeah, continue if you're all right, Gerald, just to keep an eye on that. That'd be great, and keep your questions coming. But thank you very much for that. So we'll move on, and who should we go to next? So I think we'll go to Barry from our own organisation. Barry, if that's okay, because you've obviously had a very busy time, haven't you, leading up to your Christmas event that you, amongst many other things that you're doing. So would you just like to give a bit of an update?
Yeah, thanks, Jane. Like you said, I'm Barry. I work for VCS, and my focus is the southwest ward of Gainsborough. The big thing we just completed is a Christmas event in Ashcroft Park, which is the first type of that event that's been run in the park, and by all accounts it went really well. Lots of people turned up despite the rain. We sang carols in the rain, and all got thoroughly soaked, but the feedback from the community's been brilliant, and a real sense of momentum building there, and people are talking about next year and making it bigger and better. I get quite excited about doing things for the first time in places that it's never been done before. And although it was exciting to see the residents coming, it was more of a thrill to see all the different groups working together. And so, yeah, it's been good.
Thanks, Barry. Is there anything else that sort of going forward that you're working on that you want to update on, or will that be for more for next meeting?
Yeah, probably. There's quite a few projects we're working on, mostly around expanding green space, trying to acquire extra bits of land, make more of the green space that's there. But there's meetings going on about those, so nothing concrete, but that's what we're working on at the moment.
Fantastic. Thank you. Any questions for Barry at all? don't think so. I think you got off lightly, Barry, and I was able to attend that event on Thursday. And you're right, it was absolutely soaking wet, but the spirit of it all was great. It was a great spectacle. It looked lovely as you both walked and drove past Ashcroft Park, and just great to see something happening in an area where not a lot does happen. So yeah, it was really good. So yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Barry. Right, okay, can I go? Bill, you're so often down the end because for whatever reason I tend to overlook you on my little list. So shall I come to you next, please?
I don't see why not, to be honest. What have we been up to? Well, there you go. We've been talking to Gerald about his radio station, and Kate and I may well be popping on to do a Wellbeing Wednesday, talking about what it's like living with bipolar and living with, from the service user's point of view, and from the other side of the medication cart, her carer. Kate sometimes, as and when needed, carer. So it'd be nice to talk about that, which doesn't get talked about enough, I don't think, unless you listen to Both Sides of the Medication Cart podcast, which is Kate and Bill's podcast, all about Kate's time spent in hospital and my time still trying to work out why a young, beautiful Canadian actress ended up on the wrong side of the medication cart. So what are we up to? Well, our podcast is still ongoing, The Lockdown Legacy. I've just done another couple. I'm going to put one out today, which is going to be fantastic. I did with Sean from ACES, talking about his journey of lockdown and how ACES had to, suddenly transform themselves from being just people that paint windows and put doors in to becoming counsellors. So even their work staff became counsellors and how are you and checking up on people's mental health during the lockdown. So that's going to be out today or tomorrow. We some of you may be aware who got one of these, who got one of our booklets, one of our books. I don't know what camera I'm on. I'm over there now. The Lockdown Legacy camera. The Lockdown Legacy book, which is all over town. We do have some spare copies left if anybody hasn't got one. And over the past kind of 4 months again, Kate and I have been doing writing workshops, etc. And the Lockdown Legacy 2, which is that colour, it's kind of a bit blurred at the moment, but it's that colour, is going to be out before Christmas. So the Lockdown Legacy contains photographs, stories, poetry, short bits of writing of people, what they've been going through in and around Gainsborough during the lockdowns. And I'm already working on the next Lockdown Legacy 3. And then by the looks of it, after the new year, there's going to be a Lockdown Legacy 4, isn't there? Because we're all going to get locked down again. So that's what we're doing. We're working on people's mental health. We're actually coal-faced, Kate and I. We don't have an office. We don't have, we have a car that's full of stuff. And that's mainly at the moment full of stuff. It's full of karaoke equipment because we've started to do a Friday Stepping Stone sing-along where we invite people to come down to Rose's on Friday afternoon at 1 o'clock and come and sing. Why? Because you can. That's the only reason. And you come down and there's just free tea and coffee and we sing all sorts of songs. And we've got 25 people come from mixed ability. We've got some coming from MenCap, and we have 4 old ladies come who've lost their husbands, and they come every Friday. And I've just been reading their feedback. They've all handwritten some feedback to Kate and I saying how wonderful it is and thank you very much. So we're doing the Stepping Stone Singing Social, the Stepping Stone Sunday Strollers, the Stepping Stone Theatre Company, which will be hopefully relaunching after the new year if we can get the funding and a venue, if we can get a venue. The Stepping Stone Scribblers, which is Kate's writing group that she does on a Tuesday afternoon and 2 on a Friday evening. And we've just finished the Stepping Stone Scribblers on tour, if you like. Kate and I have been going to village halls. There you go, I'll mask it again. Village halls. We've been going to village halls, Corringham and village hall Blighton, and we've run 12 writing courses for people in the villages. So when I list these things that Stepping Stone are doing right now, Stepping Stone is Kate and Bill. So Kate and Bill are doing all these things. And as well as that, we do our podcast, our own podcast, Both Sides of the Medication Cart. And we do a live show 3-4 times a week on Tuesday called Bill and Kate Live Talk. And we are a distraction for people with mental health challenges. and it goes live on Facebook Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday at 3 o'clock, and we pull maybe between 8 and 30 people, depends who's around, but they're all regulars now. We've become their PRN, the patient requested narcotic. When someone's not feeling well, they'll come and have an hour with Kate and Bill. And we talk about mental health challenges. We're talking about survival, and we talk to other service users. There's now a group on Facebook called The Crazy Crew. I didn't name it, they did. And The Crazy Crew, there's 47 members of that, and they talk to each other as well when Kate and Bill aren't around. So we've created a whole community since from lockdown to where we are right now, a whole community of people who are helping and servicing each other. And Kate and Bill are the conduit for that. We're the conduit. Volunteers, yes, we have volunteers. We have volunteers come on a Friday and they help us set up our singing. They put the chairs out, the tables out, teas, coffees, all that kind of stuff. And they get up and sing as well. So it's fantastic. And this Friday, if anybody wants to pop down, you can't come to the dinner, but this Friday, we're having a Christmas dinner. Stepping Stone Theatre and the whole MenCap lot. There's 25 of them. And then at 1 o'clock, Santa's going to turn up as well. You know, Santa's going to, he'll be there, but the real Santa, not the ones that are pretending, the real Santa. Listen, there you go. Santa's going to turn up. And at 1 o'clock, we're having a sing-song. If anybody wants an hour's worth of distraction from your office, from your house, from your lanyard world, come down and just come and feel the energy. You don't have to get up and sing. If you do, it's cheaper. If you come to watch, it's £7 to watch. It's like watching a play. But if you're going to come and sing, just come and feel the energy in the room when we're there, and you'll feel the difference. And our Kate committed, yeah, we're also doing a live show, a 2-hour show on Sunday, Christmas Day. We'll be here Christmas Day doing live talk to our 20 or 30 people who want to join us, because we know a lot of people on Christmas Day are going to be lonely and they don't want to go to the free Christmas meals. They don't want to go to the clubs, the Christmas clubs. They don't want to leave their house, but they want to stay in and listen to Kate, Bill, and themselves rattle on for 2 hours about what it's like being on your own at Christmas. So there you go. And the glide is still happening. The glide's happening everywhere. If you don't know what the glide is, you'll find out later on.
At the end, yes.
Yeah.
So, thank you,
Kate,
Bill.
have I missed anything out?
I'd just like to say I won an award.
Oh, yeah.
A national award.
Yeah.
I won most inspiring story.
Speak.
Lived experience. Yeah. Really, really high. The UK Mental Health and Wellbeing Awards. I think I'm echoing.
Well, that's a massive achievement and really good recognition. Yeah, so congratulations from all of us. Little round of applause. Well done, Kate. That's absolutely amazing. Kate, I will probably come back to you if there's anything else you want to update on. No, but that's it, you're done. Well, how can you top an award? That's fantastic. But I do just very quickly want to go to Paul, because I know, Paul, you need to nip off in a couple of minutes, and you said you've got a question for the group.
Yeah, hello everybody. I can't top that, sorry. I've got an ask. I've got an ask if I can. Oh, let me just turn that off. Does anyone live in Louth or near Louth? Anybody? No. We've had a bit of an issue with anti-vacciners, and they've been graffitiing all around Louth. But I'm sure this is going to go elsewhere. If anyone sees any graffiti around anti-vax, vax kills, or anything like that, please can you let us know, because we can get it taken off the same day now. So it's really important that we take these messages down, because they are damaging messages. We understand hesitant vaccine, obviously, but I think that vax kills and kill the vax and all stuff like that needs to come off all the road signs. So if anyone sees it, please can you let me know? That'd be really important. Stop ringing me. That's Highways, by the way. They're trying to ring me. Thank you very, very much. And Merry Christmas to you all. And please stay safe. It's really important over this period. Kerry, did you want to say hello?
I was just going to say, we've got 2 community connectors and a peer support worker that operate in Louth from the Trinity Church. So if you send me your details, I can pass that information on to my colleagues in the Louth area for you.
I'll put it in the chat now. I'll put it right now before I go. That's fantastic. Because
Brilliant.
It's a bit it's just horrible that people are doing this, you know, when we're in such difficult times, and we're trying to support our NHS colleagues as well with this. So we will do our bit to take this stuff down. Even if they put it up next night, we'll take it back down again, and hopefully they'll get bored. But lovely, I'll put my details in. Thank you ever so much.
Thanks, Paul, for that. I know you've got to go, so Merry Christmas to you as well. We'll see you in the new year. Thank you. Thanks, Paul.
I'll put it in the chat now.
Perfect, thank you. Well, we'll do the same again. Kerry, shall we go straight to you?
Oh, thank you. So for those that don't know me, I work for Links Shine. So a quick update on where we are at the minute. One of the sort of arms of Shine is we issue funding on behalf of Lincolnshire County Council and the CCG, and when we support their projects in the community. But just to give you a bit of overview on the projects that we've got at the moment, is we've got Assist at Cherry Willingham, who are offering a one-to-one wellbeing service. We've got Gainsborough Trinity Foundation. There's a number of projects running down there at the minute, including the Christmas party on Sunday. There is Christmas dinner next week on Wednesday, I believe. And then throughout January on a Tuesday and Thursday, there is a breakfast being run down there that people can drop into for those that are feeling isolated. Obviously, we've got Bill and Kate here, and I know Nikki Kate's here somewhere. I've seen her name. So I'll let her talk about her project. We've got ACES. They've got a couple of projects, an assistance project that's starting in January, which is a 6-month support project supporting wellbeing, group support. We've got CLIP. They're running a youth anxiety project for young adults 16 to 24 down at Gainsborough, and then a Green Spaces project running at the Market Raising Cafe. We've got ex-church community drop-in. They've got funding again. Gobsticks Gaming Club. And we've also got a men's art project that runs online. But I know the lady that runs it, if people have got a venue and you have got a group of males that are looking for support and interested in art, she will come to the venue as well. So on our website at the moment, we have got a full document with all the details of all the projects that have been funded at the moment, and that is broken down by primary care network areas, so like Trent, Imps and things like that. So that's on our website, and our latest newsletters are also on there as well. But if anybody does want copies of them emailing, I'll put my email in the chat, and I'm quite happy to email that information out to you, so you know what's going on in terms of the supported projects. Those that have applied for Suicide Prevention Wave 2, I know Rachel has sent an email out. There has been a delay on decision making, so no formal decision has been made in terms of that funding yet. But obviously, as soon as a decision has been made, we will get that information out. And then starting in January, we've been working with IMROC in terms of peer support worker training, which is accredited by Health Education England. We're going to start. First cohort starts in January, and what we're looking to do is those projects initially have got funding through Shine, offering that peer support worker training, and then ultimately that going out into the community to build up that support within the community. And our peer support workers themselves, we are hoping, we've got 2 in the sort of Trent and Imp area, Jane and Paul. I think a lot of you have met them already. We're hoping sort of in the new year we'll start to have dates of when they're going live and accepting referrals to be able to obviously offer that hand-holding support within the community as well. And I can see Heather's put links in, so thank you very much for that, Heather.
Great, Kerry, thank you so much. Yeah, thanks, Heather, for just dropping that in the chat, so you've all got details to that. Again, you've got, like everyone, you've got so much going on at the moment, and I was just sitting there thinking, you know, this time last year, when we were sort of meeting, there was just nothing happening, was there really? So although it still feels like a bit of an uphill struggle at times, it is so encouraging to hear all the amazing things that are going on in the community that people are able to get support from or participate in. So yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much, Kerry. I don't think there's any questions for you. So no, we'll move on if that's the case. Thank you. We'll go back to VCS. Helen, do you want to give a quick update from what you're doing at the moment? Anything to say at all?
Yeah. Hi. So I'm employed at VCS, but the programme I'm working on belongs to a board. In terms of the board members, organisations like LEAP, our own Community Foundation and the Key Fund are involved. So it was a programme born out of conversations around the health and well-being of organisations in the sector, so not individuals. We're looking at economic sustainability of social enterprises, and the programme is funded nationally by social investors. Biggest hint there, looking at developing pathways towards accessing social investment, which could be through loans. So we're still in grant negotiation with our national funder at the moment. So there's no products as such to launch, but once we do, we'll be doing that through the usual channels for VCS. Structurally, we are part of a much wider network at the county level that's looking at a social economy strategy as well. So it's making that connection away from grants and more into trading and commercial activity.
Thank you, Helen. I'm not sure if you've stopped or if I've just lost you there for a second.
I've stopped.
You stopped, lovely, because you paused temporarily as well, and I was like, is there more? No, that's great.
Everything went right at my end as well.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Any questions for Helen at all? No. Okay, lovely. We'll move on. So thanks, Helen. If I could next go to Roy. Roy, if you're there, I think obviously here to talk about the organisation that you're involved in, and also you took part in the recent volunteer management training that we did. So it'd be great just to hear very briefly any thoughts on that as well. Although I'm just looking, Roy, are you still there? Oh, I think Roy's maybe gone. Okay, well, we'll skip Roy then. It would have been amazing, I'm sure, to have heard his feedback, but we'll just have to delay that for another time. So could I now please go to Matthew?
Morning, everyone. It's Matt here from West Lindsey. Firstly, I need to apologise on behalf of myself, Grant, and anybody else in the communities team at the moment if we have been a bit elusive. We're currently processing the household support fund grants. So this has just recently come out, and it's for sort of selected partners to refer people in need who need, it's not emergency funding, but it's essentially on the way to emergency funding for essential, so food, energy, and yeah, it's a little bit more tasking. No, we knew it was going to be tasking, but it's a little bit more labour intensive than we first thought. So the sort of take-home message is, I'll put the link to the website on the group about if you come across any individuals that need support. But the purpose of it is that the individual should be accessing support already from somewhere like Citizens Advice, because it is a bit of a sticking plaster. The whole purpose of the fund is a bit of a sticking plaster. So the idea is that the person is accessing support already, otherwise they'll just be coming back the following months for the same level of support. So that's what our main thing is at the moment. It's great to see so many things going on. And then the other one, which I'll share as well, is I know it's Christmas, but we've got the Platinum Jubilee Fund out. So for the extra long bank holiday in June. It's for voluntary organisations and parish councils, all those sorts of organisations that we usually fund, and it's just to help fund the celebrations events that are going to be happening across that weekend. So we've managed to find some extra budget for that, which is great. It can fund pretty much anything. The only thing we can't fund is tree planting, but that's because there's so many schemes out there that are funding tree planting that we don't want to double up on it. So we want to make our money stretch as far as possible. So I'll share both of those in the chat, and I can share the details of it as well for the round robin email.
Thanks, Matt. And I called you Matthew at the start, and that sounds very formal, and that's
No.
probably only what you get called when you're in trouble. So
It's absolutely fine. I'm really not bothered.
well, thank you, Matt. Anyway, that's great. Nikki Kate, could I come to you next, please?
Sorry, I did.
Hi there.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Hi, yes, I'm Nikki Kate. I'm Chief Exec of Soundlinks, which is a community music organisation, and thank you for inviting me. It's the first time to these meetings. So it's great to be part of that. As Kerry says, we're so as a community music organisation, we've been around in Lincolnshire for the past actually 23 years, working mainly with all ages and the members of the community, primarily in challenging circumstances, but working with music as a vehicle and as a tool, and in lots and lots of different projects. We're a project-based charity. Currently, we're running with funding from Shine our Upbeat programme. So we have come across these leaflets. That's currently in 5 areas across the Lincolnshire, and Gainsborough being one of them, which basically is a referral service for working with people with mental health concerns who express an interest in music. The way I tend to describe it is, if somebody's expressed an interest in music, it's easy when someone says, I'm interested in food, and most people have the concept of talking about food, but music sometimes, well, where do you go with that? Is it playing? Is it singing? Is it a playlist? Is it appreciating the DVDs? What is it? And so we're just here to be able to have some people to refer to us, so we can unpick and chat to that person a little bit more about what they would dream about or think about, and we can do various things. We've built up over the years quite a catalogue of information services. We always say we know a person who can, or we can come and deliver, or we can do sessions. We never know, obviously, what's going to come through there and what people are would like to ask. So we've had referrals from the 95-year-old who would love to play drums and will be playing drums, to people wanting to get back to the instruments, people wanting to meet people, people wanted just to talk about music. And slowly, as the project's evolving, we're hoping to start an Upbeat Gainsborough music session actually in January. So it's slightly hot off the press, but I probably need to do the booking form. But please look out for it. It'll be a Thursday, initially at 3 till 4 at the North Warren House. We were linking in with the Day Opportunity Centres there, and we'll see how that grows. Primarily, initially, it's going to start with people who are returning back and are musicians. I can imagine it will grow to different groups, and we've got facilitators who can support that growth, because obviously if you have a music group, what's that all going to be about? And so hopefully we meet people's needs and facilitate that. Certainly very much we're working alongside, other people like Bill and Kate, and we're there to sort of enhance what we can do and have other areas where people can meet and experience music. I'll put details of how you can contact us or how you can refer to Upbeat. Challenges. That's what I'm saying. It's just great. We want to just make it happen.
Right, that's wonderful, Nikki Kate. Thank you. So if you could drop your details in the chat. I know we've spoken recently, and it's great to hear sort of your plans and ideas going forward. So busy times again for you. So thank you very much for that. Steph, you're with us today as a guest. Is there anything that you want to? I don't want to put you on the spot. Was there anything that you want to just chat about?
Not really, Jane, but thank you. I will just introduce myself because I've not been to one of these before, and thank you for inviting me. So I'm Steph Boyfield. I work for Voluntary Centre Services, and I'm the team lead for our North Kesteven office. So I'm in an entirely different area from Gainsborough, but I've been loving hearing what's going on. And right on cue, I knew my dog would start barking. But basically, if there's anybody who's got a county-wide service and they would like to come along to our forum, please let me know, and we'll get you in on our forum. And I'm going to put myself on mute now if you don't want to hear my dog. Sorry.
Thanks, Steph. That was good to hear Dudley there. Okay, so could I go to Charlotte next, please?
Hi everyone. So I'm Charlotte Jackson. I'm from Lincolnshire Community Foundation. I've been to a few of these now, and you've heard from Helen already because we're linked with the GLAP programme. But I just want to let you know that we have got a few funds that will be coming up in January. We've just launched a new fund which is around the Queen's Jubilee, which is the Art Council Together Let's Create Jubilee Fund. So do have a little look at it. There's loads in terms and conditions on that one, but it is worth a little look. But we've also got a few other funds that are coming up. The Bishop of Lincoln Social Justice Fund, which closes on the 14th of January. So if you are looking for some funding, I do suggest a brief look at our website as what we've got available and what boxes you might be able to tick on there. And if anyone needs any help or support, do give us a shout. The office is on reduced hours from next week though, so you'll ideally catch us this week. But yeah, thanks ever so much.
Thanks, Charlotte. No hands up, so I'm assuming no questions, but yeah, thank you. Heidi, are you still with us? I think Heidi's maybe had to go. Okay. Could I go to Joe, please? Joe, are you there? Joe McGrath?
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, I'm here. Hi. So I work for BRIC. We are based throughout the whole of Lincolnshire, but my role is West Lindsey and Gainsborough. We support families, primarily children, but through the parents. So anybody can refer if they've got a child under the age of 12, but our work is holistic with the whole family, including the parents, and any other family members who may live in the household. It's primarily sort of parenting support, can be practical support. We offer over the phone and face-to-face support on a weekly basis through volunteers. So all of our volunteers have a 5-week training program with us, and then they go into the homes or offer somebody else to talk to, basically, for a lot of lonely single mums primarily with a group of children who are struggling. My job this week has been packing and taking out Christmas gifts to families who may not have gifts. All of our families are offered that service. However, I picked up on Facebook through struggling families in Gainsborough, helping struggling families in Gainsborough, that there's a lot of children out there who are not getting Christmas gifts. So I'm picking up extra families through that who aren't BRIC families at the moment, but they would be, benefit from a referral, really. My stepdaughter's just arrived with my granddaughter, who is only 11 weeks old, so there might be some hysteria. We haven't seen her for a few weeks, so if it gets a bit crazy in the background, we'll just carry on. So we have got an increase in referrals for families needing our service at the moment, obviously, as you'd expect. We've also got an increase in families wanting Christmas gifts. We've got some very generous gifts being given by Saxelby Church. St Botolph's Church is one of them. Anything I've got left over is going to the Salvation Army, because I don't think they'll mind me saying they've had about double the amount of referrals this year. They've hit a record of 500 family referrals for Christmas gifts, and they are saying to people now, hang on, we can't give you the gifts that we would normally give. So it's a desperate time for families, and I feel for these people that are really crying out for help. And our referrals are coming in thick and fast. And I've got literally 3 volunteers in Gainsborough. So help. Can we get volunteers to us, please?
And we are trying to do that as well, because I know how important it is for you. And I know we said this morning we'll have some further conversations, won't we, about what we can do for that. But yeah, just again, it's great to hear what you're doing. It's a difficult time for a lot of people, isn't it? So it's great that you're out there and providing that support. Any questions
and
for Joe?
It's lovely to have this network, because I'm new to the role, so now I'm finding the networks, and I ask lots of questions perhaps on the You know, who are you? Where are your contact details? Because I don't know. And like I said in a meeting the other day, unless you know, you don't know. And that's hard, because this service is there, but unless you know, you don't know what to do. You don't know how to find. And that's very, very important that we've got this group to help us with that. So thank you.
No, you're very welcome. It's lovely to have you here today, and please pop your details in the chat again, because people can pick up on those afterwards if they want to make direct contact with you. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Maddie, anything from you at all? An update on the care homes project?
Yeah, it's starting to take off a little bit now. We're getting active people into care homes all around the county, but we are still struggling a little bit for Gainsborough. Just if anyone doesn't know, volunteers to go to care homes to help them with all the visitors that come and take the pressure off the staff, because it takes a lot of time out of the day to actually answer the door and make sure everyone's had LFT tests and all of that kind of thing. So yeah, we're just still looking for more volunteers in the Gainsborough area and the rest of the county, and that's it for me really.
Thanks, Maddie. Okay, who have we got left? Just conscious of time. Chris, can I come to you, please? Chris, I know we talked about you maybe giving a bit more of a longer update, but you missed the very beginning. We need to unfortunately finish this meeting on time, because a couple of us have got other meetings to go to. So would it be okay just to have a brief sort of update for this time, and then we can see where we're at next time?
That's absolutely no problem at all, Jane. And yeah, sorry I was a little bit late. We've got a really nice group today, and I guess last time round I did do a bit of a presentation on our community wellbeing strategy for some of those that weren't on the call last time. My role is regional community wellbeing manager. I do look after a sort of wide area, so I go as far as Sunderland all the way down to Ipswich. So there's about 20 local authorities, but I'm a Gainsborough lad, so I've got an invested interest in this area. The key things really is I have been working with Jane on trying to introduce a volunteer policy, looking at our processes and procedures and training as well. So we would love to recruit more volunteers in leisure to help us with our outreach programs that we're looking to do. We've got a designated active communities manager called Jake Garrett. Unfortunately, can't make the call today, but that's his role to work with me on those projects. The other key one as well is working with a company called Tempo Time Credits, because we'd love to try and tap into some funding and commissioning to reward some of our volunteers. Now, I know volunteering is a very rewarding role anyway, but for us, we was just like, well, if we have volunteers out there that do some good things, then we would like to reward them with some time credits, which might say, let's say, for instance, they achieve 5 time credits. That might equate to a swim at our leisure centre, or a gym visit, or a badminton game. So we want to look at how we can reward, and then club in lots of different organisations that might want to do the same. So that's an interesting one we're looking at the moment. And then I guess finally, we just started to work with Nettie and the social prescribers, which has been fantastic, and the link workers have been amazing. So we've got some drop-in clinics at West Lindsey Leisure Centre, Gainsborough Leisure Centre. We've got some clients coming in now that are being supported through physical activity intervention. But we want to hear more from volunteering groups, because we want them to use the centre. I toured a lady from Lincoln University yesterday, the toning table, some of our studios and meeting rooms, and we said, look, we want to change the perception of what a leisure centre sounds like. More often than not, we think it's sporty people, fit people to use them, but we want it to be a wellness hub. We want it to be a lifestyle centre. So if that means changing the different type of activities that go on at leisure centre, so be it. So we want to continue with that work. And I guess as well, my final point was I came in just at the right time, because Sally was presenting on the community sort of health and wellbeing services. We would love to connect with you, Sally, look at some work with cardio and pulmonary stuff that we really want to do. So yeah, we just want as much engagement as possible, everyone. So yeah, just talk to me. It'd be great.
Thanks, Chris. Would you pop your details in the chat as well, please, so that Sally and anybody else who wants those has got those? That would be great. Thank you.
No worries.
Vanessa, could I come to you next, please?
Yeah. So I'm Vanessa Mawanders. I'm a project officer with Voluntary Centre Services here in West Lindsey. My role, as Heather mentioned earlier, is to offer advice to community groups, so advice on funding, policies, structures of how groups can set up, etc. What we do have now is my colleague Jodie produces a funding digest that's available quarterly. So if anyone does need any sort of list of active grants, I can get that emailed out to people. I've been working also with the Green Spaces Forum, and we had across the year a Green Spaces funding pot that has now been fully allocated across 10 Green Spaces projects in the West Lindsey district. And we're just in the process now of collecting and putting together the reporting on those projects. So hopefully by about March, most of the projects will have been completed and we'll get feedback on what it has meant to them and to their residents or to their user groups. And that's it from me, really.
Thanks, Vanessa. Now, I know Emily's popped some notes in the chat just so she's having some connectivity issues. So her details are in there from voluntary engagement team, if anybody wants to connect to her at all. According to my list, I think I've been to everybody, but have I missed anyone at all? If so, please make yourself known pronto. Don't think so. I know a few people have had to go, so I think everyone's had an opportunity to speak. So, oh, Kate, sorry, yes, we've got a question. You're on mute, Kate.
Thank you. I'd just like to mention, did I mention I won an award?
Oh, did you? Amazing, well done.
Meant to bring a smile to everyone's face is all we want to do. Thank you once again, Jane, for a wonderful, informative. It's great to see everybody. And if we haven't said before, have a wonderful festive season, and we'll see you in the new year.
You've taken the words right out of my mouth. It's absolutely brilliant to see so many people and some new people as well as returning and regular faces that come to these forums, as we've mentioned. They're so important just for hooking up, linking into, sharing information across the community, because it's that old stronger together or together stronger, I don't know, whatever it is. But yes, there's so many great services out there. You're all doing amazing jobs for the people that live locally. And it's a very, very busy time for everybody. I know everyone's trying to get to the finish line at Christmas. So I would say on behalf of everyone from VCS, a very Merry Christmas, wishing you all the very best for 2022. Our next West Lindsey Forum date has been set for the 9th of March. We have got all the dates set for the year. They are on Eventbrite, but make a note of the 9th of March. Fingers crossed that one might be physical. We keep saying that, but I really, really hope by then that we can maybe meet in person or do a bit of a hybrid or whatever it is that we need to do. But have a very, very happy Christmas, everybody. Stay safe. Thank you for attending today. Bill, if you want to do your slide to end the meeting, as we always do, and we'll see you in 2022.
Yeah. This is gliding for mental health. Why do we do
glide, not slide, sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. But we do it. Why do we do this? Because we can. That's why we do it. No other reason.
Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
Just lift your arms up and pretend to be a glider. That's it. And glide. Everybody glide. Here we go. Lift them up. Lift them up. And glide. Everybody glide. Careful not to slide. Everybody glide. Here we go. Big thermals and glide. Ooh. Everybody And those of you connected to physical health will know how good that feels right now. I'm sweating.
Thank you, everybody. Happy Christmas.
Have a wonderful time.
Thank you, Jane.
Take care. Take care.
Bye-bye.
See you soon, Gerald.
Bye for now. Yeah, sure thing.
Take care for now.
Bye, darling.
Bye, love.
Bye-bye. Bye.